6:30 right now. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Okay, first off, we have roll call.
Mr. Sprecher,
Here?
Ms. Hallett,
Here.
Ms. Ryan, Mr. Mrozinski, Ms. Kaplan, Ms. Dinoff.
Yes, here.
Okay. Now, we do have 3 members here, so things can be approved, but you're going to have all 3 votes yes. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys know. Before we get going, is there any public comments? Anybody want to say anything?
So, who are the members of the board right now? Because I see more than 3 people.
Oh, there's 3, the 2 young ladies next to me here.
I'm Jean Dinoff.
Kathy Hallett.
Bill Sprecher.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Nice
meet
meeting
you.
you.
Okay. Board, do you have any comments before we go? Hearing none? Okay. Quasi judicial?
Well, right now, you have the election of your chair and vice chair. This is your first meeting for January. So you have your organizational meeting, so you nominate and elect your chair and vice chair annually.
We only have 3 people.
Can I make a
Right.
nomination?
Can we postpone that until next month?
It's part of your resolution of your rules of procedure, so you should do it today, because that's what your rules of procedure provide for, is that your first meeting every January is your organizational meeting.
Okay.
Can I make a nomination then? I can make a nomination.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Are you ready?
And you can elect people that aren't here, right?
You can elect
I
people
can.
who are not here.
Oh,
You can't?
You can.
Oh, my
You can,
I wanted to
as long as
nominate.
they're on the board.
Yeah.
I know I've only been here for a month, but I wanted to nominate Phil for chairman. Philip, that's sitting next to him, I thought he had a lot of
he's good.
information,
Yep.
you know, knew a lot about a lot of things.
Philip Mrozinski? Okay.
Yeah. Any others?
No. I nominate you, Bill. Are
Okay.
you Phil or Bill? You said
Phil.
Phil.
Bill.
Philip.
Phil. This is Bill.
I know, I
Yeah,
said Philip.
okay. And I nominate Bill
Okay.
to
Okay, 2
continue.
nominations?
So
We need
that's-
seconds on that? No.
No, you don't. It will be by voice vote for the election.
Oh, man. Okay. Killing me.
And it's just the 3 of us.
It's just the 3 of you voting.
Okay. Do
How
we
do
need a
you
roll
vote?
call vote? Do we have a roll call vote on this?
I vote Bill.
Ms. Kardash said it would be a voice vote.
Voice vote.
That's a roll call.
That's a roll.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
call the roll and have them. So the first nomination was for Phil.
Okay.
Chairman.
So call that nomination. Ladies,
every
we shouldn't have side conversations for sunshine law. Everything needs to be on the record.
Oh.
Okay.
Just,
Yes, I know.
So who votes to have Mr. Philip Mrozinski as the chair?
I do.
Okay.
Man. This is not
And-
right.
Who votes to have Mr.
Bill.
Sprecher?
Bill.
Can I
The two
vote for
of us.
myself or no? Excuse me? Can I vote for myself or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
you may.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Mr.
Okay.
Sprecher is the chair.
okay.
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 And then the vice chair.
Vice Chair?
Bill. I
Not-
nominate Phil.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other nominations?
Okay. We'll have a vote.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All for Phil?
Yeah, all for Phil.
Aye.
Bill,
Okay.
yes.
Phil's got it. Good.
Done.
Now it's hard.
Are
Okay.
you ready for the quasi judicial?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. The matters before the City of Tarpon Springs Heritage Preservation Board are quasi-judicial in nature. In a quasi-judicial proceeding, the board's function is to make findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the hearing and apply those findings of fact to previously established criteria contained in the City of Tarpon Springs Code of Ordinances. This is a legal decision regarding the application before the board. The board may only consider evidence that the law considers competent, substantial, and relevant to the issues arising from the application and the applicable code sections. Any and all persons providing testimony at this hearing are required to do so under oath. All persons testifying at this hearing must give their name, address, and must indicate whether or not they have been sworn for the record prior to proceeding with their testimony. All testimony and questioning at this hearing must address matters that are relevant and material to the issues under consideration based on the criteria established in the City of Tarpon Springs Code of Ordinances. If any board member has disclosures regarding an application, please make your disclosures on the record at the beginning of the hearing, such as ex parte communications or any voting conflicts of interest. If there is not a full board at the beginning of the hearing, which there is not this evening, the applicant may request a continuation to the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Heritage Preservation Board. That is because tonight it will require a unanimous decision of all 3 board members to receive a certificate of approval for your applications. The following is the established procedure which will be followed at this quasi-judicial hearing. First, city staff will present its testimony and evidence regarding the application. The applicant will then have an opportunity to ask questions and cross-examine the staff and any witnesses. The applicant will then have the opportunity to present its witness and evidence. The city will have the opportunity to cross-examine the applicant and any of the applicant's witnesses. Members of the public opposing the application will be given the opportunity to present their testimony and evidence, as well members of the public in support of the application. The applicant and then the city may present any rebuttal evidence and testimony in a closing statement for summary. The board will then close the public hearing for discussion and consideration of the application. At this time, anyone wishing to speak on any matter before the City of Tarpon Springs Heritage Preservation Board, please stand and receive the oath. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth in all the matters before the City of Tarpon Springs Heritage Preservation Board this evening? Yes. Thank you. And prior to giving your testimony, please state your name, address, and indicate that you've been sworn.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to our first application. This is 22-130 at 305 Grand Boulevard. We're looking at a structure, added structure, and some stairs. So, Caroline?
All right, good evening. Caroline Lanford, City of Tarpon Springs, Principal Planner. We're here today to discuss application, I should say, 22130. This slide shows the location and context of the subject property. This slide will show with the subject property's location within the National Register District. And the request is for a certificate of approval to construct a 200 square foot accessory structure, a rear exterior staircase, and a porch to a finished attic, and to replace all of the existing aluminum windows with white vinyl single hung 1/1 windows at the subject property. The property is a frame vernacular. Oh, here's the property shown on the 1926 Sanborn map. It seems to be constructed around 1926. This is just showing you a kind of closer in view of the property. This is a picture of the subject property from the Florida Master Site File. It's typical of a gabled L building. As I said, it's a frame vernacular. It exhibits some Victorian area ornamentation, including the turned post balustrade porch, gingerbread brackets, off-center main entry, and the characteristic attic vent. This slide's just to give you some context of what the neighborhood looks like around it. Next to it, there is a 2-story multifamily property. And next on the other side, there's a house similar, and this kind of shows, the top left shows, you know, from that, a southerly view, and this shows a more northern view. So this is just, again, showing you the facade. This was submitted in the application for the request. It shows the location of the accessory structure there at the top left, and the location of the proposed staircase and porch. Kind of tried to overlay it. It didn't quite match up, but you can see a little bit roughly where they're proposing to put the accessory structure. This was provided by the applicant, showing what they are looking at for, at the top right, there is an example of the kind of accessory structure they're looking at constructing. And on the left side there, that's an example of the type of stairway and porch they would like to construct. This was provided by the applicant, showing the location of the windows that would be replaced. This just shows that the proposed accessory structure would not be visible from the street, as long as it meets the height requirements that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then again, you would also not see the proposed stairway or porch from the street. So these are the standards for review that apply to this application. So what we need to determine is the new construction consistent with other accessory structures in the district? The applicant did not specify the height, so as you'll see later in my recommendations, I'm going to condition that the height be specified so that it's subordinate to the primary structure and not be visible from the street. Standards for review for windows, doors, and entries. The original window frames and some of the sizes of the original windows have been changed. So the windows that are existing on the structure right now are not original. They're aluminum windows. So ideally, we would replace them with wood frame windows and get them back to a more historic state. But the proposed replacement is not inconsistent with the property style and architecture, and it doesn't preclude anybody from going back and fully restoring it with the wood frame windows in the future. Because the proposed staircase and accessory structure would not be visible from the street, it doesn't really alter the streetscape or the relationship of the property to the other structures. So with respect to size in terms of width and length, it's consistent with other accessory structures in the district. The proposed exterior staircase would not significantly alter the massing of the building, and it's something that could be undone in the future, and it would not be visible from the street. In terms of architectural features, again, wood frames would be the most ideal, but what they're proposing is not very visually different from the original. And the applicable standard from the Secretary's guidelines is number 9 in relation to exterior alterations. And really, you know, it's just saying that we should not destroy historic characteristics, and the proposed project would not. So staff is making a recommendation of approval with the following conditions. I'm suggesting, because they didn't specify that they were going to replace a window with a door, but I assume because they're putting the staircase up there and it's to a finished attic space that they would want to replace that with a door. So I'm conditioning that before they get a building permit, they just run by what materials they're going to be using, what the door looks like, and a little bit more specifics on the staircase to staff, to planning staff, so we could approve that at a staff level, if you agree to that condition. And then Obviously, the proposed accessory structure needs to comply with all the requirements of the city building codes and be constructed to a finished height that's subordinate to the primary structure. And I just wanted to mention that we shouldn't fiddle with the historic attic vent. I wasn't quite sure. I'm hoping that that's not part of the plans with the windows. And then, again, that the certificate of approval would expire in 3 years if they have not gotten a building permit. And with that, I can answer any questions.
You talk about a attic vent. Where's that?
It's on the gable side.
On the gable side?
Yeah,
In the front or the rear?
it's on the side. You can kind of.
I didn't hear your question, Bill.
Huh?
It's-
The last condition, or number 3, there's an exterior attic vent. And I was just wondering where that was.
Okay.
I don't, oh, there, you can see it in that picture there, up there at the top left on the L portion, facing away from the street.
Oh, okay. Hang on one second.
And I do have just 2 brief follow-up questions. Your credentials are on file with the city, correct?
Yes.
And you are submitting
Oh.
the city's file on this for the board's consideration as evidence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're talking about the one that's facing like the alleyway on the side.
Yes.
Okay, got it. That's good. Okay, any questions from the board or anything? No? Okay, thank you very much. Do we have the applicant?
Hi, my name is Chris Wilson. I have been sworn in, and my address is 201 North Gross Avenue, and my office address is 401 North Pinellas Avenue, Tarpon Springs.
Okay. Did you want to give a little brief on it, or?
Carolyn did a very good job. She hit it right on the head. The gable vent she's talking about, we're not proposing any work in that area, so that's not an issue. It's everything else, all of our conditions are certainly within our parameters, so
Okay.
we're good unless you guys have any questions.
Okay, let me,
I have some
yeah,
questions.
go down to the board. Do you have any questions?
I just wanted to verify, and I'm almost sure I know the answer. Your new windows are going to be hurricane
Yes, ma'am.
safe?
Yes, ma'am.
And the porch on the back, that's not that, I mean, nobody sees it from the front, but is it going to be the wood, like it shows on here? Are you painting it, or?
It's our intention for it to be wood, yes, ma'am, pressure treated wood. As far as the color, it may be stained or painted. We haven't decided yet.
Okay. And
About what dimensions are we looking at for the porch area?
You know, there's not a lot of room there. I don't think it would be bigger than maybe 12 by 12, but I don't have any designs yet. But you know, there's not a lot of room. So
Okay.
That makes it.
is it a porch that just allows you to get out,
well, the idea is
Mostly-
you could walk out and maybe have a seat on the porch.
maybe have chairs? Yeah, it
Yeah, a
doesn't.
couple chairs, maybe a plant and you know, a landing for the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Okay, let's go through. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any public comment on that? Nope, hearing none.
No.
You have anything else to say, rebuttals or anything? Okay. Okay, can I call for a motion and we can start talking about this?
Go ahead.
Well, oh, I turned it up. What number is it? One,
Yeah.
22-130.
okay,
22-130.
22-130.
I'll second when you're done.
I make a motion to accept application 22-130 as with the recommendations of the staff. You know, okay.
Okay, any seconds?
I'll second that.
Okay,
And just to clarify, you're accepting the staff's recommendation of approval with the 4 conditions, correct?
Right,
Okay,
well,
thank
Yeah,
you.
with the,
no, what the staff recommends, yes.
yeah, with the recommendations.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussions? I only have one, and we can hash it out before. I think the dimensions of the porch should be specified.
Right.
And come before staff before it's built, so that can be approved. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, everything else looks pretty good. Okay.
We would have signed and sealed plans by an engineer with dimensions on it for approval. So,
Okay.
yeah, you guys would see it.
Yeah, we'd like at least staff to take a look at it. If it needs to come before us again, we'll have to do that, but we'll see.
Agreed.
Okay. Okay, we have the motion. Any more discussions?
I don't know, should we make a new motion with the,
Did you want your request added in to?
Have that added
Right.
in.
Okay, so you're adding the 5th condition of having the plans for the porch approved by staff.
Right.
right.
And does the maker of the motion okay with that?
I'll add to the motion.
And the second concurs?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. I guess we're ready for a vote. Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Stinoff?
Yes.
Ms. Hallett?
Approved.
Mr. Sprecher?
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
It's a beautiful home. I go by it every day.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Nice neighborhood, too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to 22-137. This is on 31 Reed Street. This is
I'm so
replacing some
screwed up here.
the shingles, roof shingles that are metal shingles with the asphalt. Okay, staff?
All right. So here's the location of the subject property. Here's the location of the subject property. It is within the National Register District and the local district. Here's just another look of where the property is situated. And the applicant is requesting a certificate of approval to replace the stamped metal shingles that they currently have with Owens Corning asphalt shingles. It's a circa 1915 home, frame vernacular. It is a contributing structure. It shows up on the 1919 Sanborn map, so that's how we got the date for it. If you would note on the Sanborn map, I make this point later, but it just notes that it has a shingle roof on the main structure. It actually denotes that it has a tin roof on that accessory structure in the rear, but it does note that it just has shingle. It doesn't say what kind of shingle, so we don't really know, but that's one of our little history detective clues we have to go off of. This is a picture of the structure from the Florida Master Site File. It's included in your packet. And this is a present-day picture of the structure. Quite beautiful little house. It has the nice site wall in the front with the decorative finials.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It has a polyagonal bay on the western elevation, steep pitch roof, front gabled porch. We have some lovely trees in front, so it's kind of hard to get pictures of it. This picture's trying to show you that it has a nice decorative chimney in the back there as well, and tries to get a picture of the bay. And this is just the context of the subject property, the neighboring structures. So the facade of the structure. Tried to get a good shot of the roof. And this is provided by the applicant of what they're proposing replacing the roof with. Just your kind of standard architectural asphalt shingles. So these are the standards of review that we need to look at: the neighborhood and district context, the roof shape and texture, the architectural features, and adherence to the Secretary's guidelines. So what we need to determine is if the changing of the material of the roof, does that constitute a significant adverse impact to the streetscape and the neighborhood as a whole? In terms of the roof shape and texture, it would be, it looks like the shingles that they're proposing are a little bit smaller, it's a little bit different. Does that change in size and texture change it significantly and adversely, or is it, relatively consistent with the architectural style and similar structures around it? Obviously, we always want to repair rather than replace. And when we replace, we like to do it with the same colors, materials, and textures that are consistent with the property's original architecture. However, that's not always practical. And the visual qualities are similar. So this is the adherence to the Secretary's guidelines. We should restore rather than replace when possible. I guess the question is this stamped metal roof a distinctive feature? And so it is an exterior alteration that would destroy a historic component of this property. However, ideally, we can go into the design review guidelines manual. When we're changing roofing material, we would usually want to replace like with like. But, a good alternative is to replace with something that looks similar. I didn't mention previously that this house displays some elements of the Craftsman's feature, and shingle roofs are consistent with both frame vernaculars and Craftsman's.
Would you repeat that? 'Cause
Some of the elements, the architectural elements of this structure are consistent with the Craftsman style, and shingle roofs are appropriate for Craftsman or frame vernaculars. Just wanted to point out, since we've had some issues with this previously, that if the board approves this, we want to make sure that there's no alteration to the historic chimney.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
So the staff is recommending that we approve the project with a few conditions. That the roof line itself is not altered in any way. We maintain the shape of the roof. That the exterior of the historic chimney is not altered. If at all possible, the historic stamped metal shingles be salvaged, provided to an architectural salvage for reuse, and that the certificate of approval would expire in 3 years if a building permit has not been issued. I would note that they provided 2 different pictures of shingles, and while it is not under this board's purview to pick color, the gray color would be more consistent with the historic look that it had with that metal roof.
Right.
And with that, I can take any questions.
Very good. Thank you.
Just for the record, you are offering your file on this matter to the board for their consideration as evidence.
Yes,
Correct?
ma'am.
Thank you.
And I have a question. There was just no way that roof could be repaired, the tin side of it? Or is that for
I'm going to let the applicant speak to that.
Sorry?
I can't speak to that. I didn't get up there and look at it, and I'm going to let the applicant
Yeah,
speak to that.
just,
My name's John Benton, 31 Reed Street, and I have been sworn. The roof's just too far gone. And I love the individual shingles.
Yeah.
But they're nailed on, and the nails have deteriorated. We coated it a couple of times, and it's just beyond repair
okay.
at this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have-
Applicant, do you want to come up and say anything else?
She handled it very well. We want to keep the chimney, don't want to change the roof lines. Wish I could go with metal, but I just can't. And I actually don't know if you can get Florida product approval numbers on individual metal shingles anymore. And salvaging them I know they wouldn't work for another roof. You know, the only thing you'd be in for patching, but you couldn't, you know, couldn't create a new roof because they're used and don't have the Florida product approval number.
Somebody could use them for a different project altogether,
Right.
though.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
I was gonna,
I guess that's
And-
all I have to say.
okay.
are you gonna keep the gray color?
Yes, that's my preference. My wife's was the brown, but since she's not here, gray it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
A little discoloration on the gray would be nice. Yeah. Okay.
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, going through public comments, hearing none, continue on. Rebuttals or anything like this? Anything else? Caroline?
I think he covered it.
Okay, then I guess we're ready for a motion.
All right. I move application 22-137 to approve as the staff recommended with the not touching the chimney and going with a gray color. Okay.
Okay. And also, reuse, not, what was the
So
last?
they had the 4 conditions were in there, and you're adding the 5th of the gray color? Is
Right,
that-
yeah.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. That covers you.
Okay.
Okay.
There's your problem,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Sounds good. We have a second on that, right?
Second.
Okay. Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Denoff?
Yes.
Ms. Hallett?
Yes.
Mr. Sprecher?
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. That's a nice little house.
It is.
It's a beautiful home.
It's a nice little house, but I gotta confess, my next house is gonna be concrete and steel.
Understand exactly what you're saying.
Yep, we all
I
understand.
understand that.
But it'll be right here in Tarpon.
Okay, going on, we're gonna go to
Thank you.
22-140. This is on
Reed.
410 West Lemon. And they're replacing aluminum siding with hardy, some windows,
Wow.
talk about some doors. Okay, and that's about it.
All right, I'll tell you all
Staff?
about it here in a minute.
Huh?
I'll tell you all about it here in a minute. So we got application 22-140. It is at 410 West Lemon Street. Here shows the location of the subject property. Here's another view of it. It is within the local historic district. It is not in the National Register district. Here's another view, kind of shows you the property. So the applicant is seeking a certificate of approval to replace the existing aluminum siding with hardy plank siding, replace the existing windows and doors, create a new window on the east elevation, and, at this minimal traditional contributing accessory structure. So not only is the primary structure a contributing structure,
So
the-
is side.
so is the
Yeah.
accessory structure. So this is the picture from the Florida Master Site File. And it's just an adorable little minimal traditional with the front gable portico, supported by wood brackets, fabric awning, wood surrounds, and the chimney, the concrete chimney on the main structure.
They have aluminum?
So this is just showing the context. They're located right next to a larger multifamily property, and then some very similar minimal traditionalists around them. Here's just a look at the main structure facade. And here's some pictures of the accessory structure that really is the subject of what we're talking about today. So as you can see, the accessory structure has kind of that asymmetrical look that the primary structure has. It has the sympathetic awnings that match up with the primary structure. It has the French doors like the primary structure. At the rear of the property, it has a little portico opening like the primary structure has. So a lot of this exterior is really mirroring what you see in the primary structure, and that's why it's also a contributing structure. And here's just some more views. And these are the plans that were provided in the application. So that's the request is to replace the siding. So this is where I got they're proposing to put an additional window on that facade that's visible from the street. And that would kind of bring some symmetry to it, which would kind of take away with some of the architectural details that can make it a contributing property. This is the front door that they had proposed to replace those French doors with. The back door, it was kind of hard to read, but, and then the bathroom window is a 1/1. And then replacing the front windows. So,
What window's in the front? By the door?
so they wanted to add a new window and then replace the existing window.
Oh, that's on the auxiliary.
It's on the east side of the
building.
back of the house, Carolyn?
Yeah, that's on the back
Yes,
building.
that is
From
the
the
east,
back.
that is the
Okay.
east side, and you can, it is visible from the street. The accessory structure is visible from the street, so. All right. So, going to our standards for review, the width and height of the windows, doors, and entry should be consistent with the original architectural style. And, you know, we always want to repair rather than replace when possible, but when we replace, we want to replace with as close to an accurate duplication as possible. So the question before you is adding a new window consistent with the original architectural style? And are the proposed replacements accurate duplications? And it would be my finding that they are not sympathetic with the original architectural style. The French doors should either be repaired or replaced with French doors, and an additional window opening should not be added. For the neighborhood, district, and district context, so the streetscape is what we're looking to protect here, and as I said, you can see the accessory structure from the street, and we're doing that through this process right now. But so the question we need to answer is, do the facade changes constitute a significant adverse impact to the streetscape? Would it change it? Distinctive architectural features should be repaired rather than replaced wherever possible. So this is with reference to the windows and doors. I'm guessing that the windows are not the original windows. Does not look like it to me. But the door looks like the doors look like they may be the original doors. So if it's feasible to repair them, that's what our guidelines tell us we need to do. If it's not feasible, we need to replace it with an accurate duplication.
Just a quick question. When we're talking about French doors, we're talking about the outbuilding French
Yes.
doors, not the main house out.
No work is being proposed on the main house at this time. This is all about the accessory structure.
Okay.
And here are just some of the applicable secretary guidelines, to repair when feasible, replace with similar visual qualities where possible, and don't destroy historic components of the building. Okay, so one of the relevant guidelines from our design review guideline manual is the facade configuration. So there is a proposed alteration to the facade, which is not considered appropriate by our guidelines.
No.
So I'm going to do one of my soft approvals, or hard approvals, and say that I would recommend approval of the project with some conditions, primarily that the original doors should be repaired rather than replaced if that's in any way feasible. If it's not feasible to repair them, then they should replace them with 10-pane French-style double doors like they have now on both the east and west elevations to continue that complementing of the primary structure. They should retain the original fenestration of the east facade, i.e. don't put in a new window. And if they're going to retain the screen doors, they should repair the existing screen doors or replace them with something similar with a wood frame. Also from the review manual, we want to make sure that they use the smooth lap finish hardy plank to be consistent with what would have originally been on there, which is wood. So, and then I would further condition that the certificate of approval will expire in 3 years if a building permit isn't issued. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions?
What is the original, what is on there now?
It is aluminum siding that is
I thought
not
so.
original.
Yeah,
So that's, I feel like the hardy plank is fine as long as they use the smooth lap finish.
is aluminum on the main house also? Yeah, okay.
I'm John Shafchuk, been sworn in, 410 West Lemon Street.
And I'm Tom Shabar, I'm 410 West Lemon Street, and I've been sworn in as well.
It's on the accessory building, it's actually vinyl siding that's on it. It's textured vinyl siding.
Oh, okay.
And the original, the main house is, I believe, some kind of metal. It looks like aluminum siding on the main house.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it? Any more questions for Caroline?
Just briefly, you're offering your file on this matter for the board's consideration as evidence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And just for the purposes of disclosure, I had a brief conversation prior to this evening's hearing with the chairman that didn't quite rise to the level of an ex parte question because it was regarding what feasible means. And the question was whether or not if feasible means that if it's determined not to be feasible, if it has to come back before you. And the answer to that is no, is that it does not have to come back before you. That would be handled at the staff level, that determination and what can and cannot be done under these conditions.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, applicants? If you want to give a presentation or?
I just have a couple questions.
Sure.
As far as feasible, so how do we show you that it's feasible or not feasible once we get to that point?
I can come out. You can provide pictures to me over email showing me extensive rot or termite damage or some reason why it would not be feasible to repair it. That would work. You've got my email, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, that's things like if the actual material cannot be salvaged, if it's no longer available, like you can't purchase the same types of materials again.
Right.
Things that, potentially, if it would be excessively expensive, I don't know if that one's one or not.
We'd have to make a determination of that, but I think, conversationally, which this is really not supposed to be conversational, but if you could just go ahead and replace it with a door that looks like the original door, I think
That's the
we'd be
point of it?
meeting,
Okay.
we'd be meeting the requirements.
Got it.
Ideally, if you could repair it, but I understand it's old and been sitting in humid Florida weather for a long time, so it might be beyond repair.
Okay.
We had talked about keeping it the same administration in the front, right?
Yeah, we're fine with the recommendations that you made.
In
Okay.
fact, yeah, we are going to keep the front the same as you requested. The only thing we'll probably do is replace the current cloth awning with a newer cloth awning.
Okay, unfortunately, you'd have to bring that in front of the board again.
We do? Oh.
No, if you're replacing cloth with cloth,
Cloth, yeah.
then no, it's fine.
It'll be the same.
As
thing.
long as it's the same dimensions and,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's cloth with cloth, you
Yeah,
don't
it's
have to
just-
bring it.
The one that's there is, old and battered, so we want to replace it with new.
Yeah.
We took a look at both the back and the front door, and we're going to make every effort to retain those doors.
Oh, great.
The screen doors are beyond repair, and so we'll probably replace those with, if we can find them, some wood frame screen doors as well. So we'll be keeping the windows the same as well, but probably replacing them, given their age and all of that.
Okay. Do you have any questions from the board for the applicants?
No.
No, it's
I just,
pretty
are
much
you,
covered.
are you replacing all the windows in the house?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Yeah, they have to be replaced. They're pretty,
Okay, that's all the
Pretty-
windows, all the
But
windows
just
in,
Yeah.
for the accessory
House.
structure, not the main
The
house, just the
accessory
accessory structure.
yeah, in the small house.
it's
In the little-
accessory house.
Oh,
The
okay.
cottage.
All
The
right.
cottage, yeah.
The cottage, okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay, so we're not talking about the main house at all?
No,
Okay.
no,
that's going to be a whole nother.
that's,
Oh, yeah.
that's another story, right?
Are you putting, is the hardy board then going on the main house too? Or?
That's what we would like to do,
Eventually,
yeah.
yeah.
But right now, you're just working with this, okay.
We're just
Starting
trying to
small,
get a
working
working
big.
I
bathroom.
thought
Yeah.
it was the whole thing, okay.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be great, yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? No. Do you have a motion?
Shall I do it again?
Go ahead.
You're good at it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, for application 22-140, and I forgot to do this before, on 410 West Lemon Street, I approve what the city, what the staff has recommended, and, and then is presented.
With the 5 conditions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, with the specified conditions, yeah. Okay, second?
A second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay.
No, good
Okay,
show.
can we have a vote then?
Ms. Denoff?
Yes.
Ms. Hallett?
Yes,
Mr. Sprecher?
Yes. Thank you very much.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Nice meeting you.
You too.
Okay. Oh,
Right. I come down the alley and head right to you every day. Yeah.
okay,
And the Joneses were good friends for years and years and years, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do we have any comments?
I do, actually. To the beginning of the meeting, you had minutes that were there that we did not approve at the beginning, so I just
Oh, I
wanted to
didn't
go
do that?
back. I don't recall us.
No, I don't think I
The
did.
meeting, regular session, July 11th, 2022. I don't know if you have any changes to those, or if you wanted to go ahead and approve those today.
Okay, I don't have any, do you have any discussion on the minutes for June? I apologize for that.
That's all right, I missed it too, that's why I wanted to go back.
Yeah, I gotta sign them yet.
There you go.
I missed
I
that
did,
one.
I
That
missed
must have
that
been a
totally. I
fun
didn't
night.
read those.
Oh, geez, yeah, that was a good one.
Our
We've
dear
had a couple good
Mr.
ones.
Kokoudis that we see every so often
Yeah,
was involved,
we've had some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it was a joy to relive them when I did the minutes.
Oh, that last one, that last one was
With
crazy.
the chimneys.
The chimneys.
Were there only 3 of you there?
Yep.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
It was an interesting read for me.
Huh?
It was an interesting read for me.
What was
Yeah,
that one
that was
about?
That last one.
Sorry, I missed that. That would have been fun,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, we got any more discussions on that one?
No,
Okay,
nope, Mr. President.
okay, we don't
You
need a
have to do
motion for that, do we?
a motion to approve
Okay, we need a motion to approve.
and a second.
On the meeting. minutes.
On the minutes, correct.
I wasn't there, so should I
That's all right.
second?
You still do it as a matter of the public record. You're approving the record of
Then I
the,
read
Okay,
it?
yes.
Okay,
okay.
second. I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
We have a,
Ms. Dinoff,
Yes.
Ms. Hallett,
yes.
Mr. Sprecher.
yes.
So that was Ms. Hallett,
No,
motion
Ms.
to approve.
Denard was the one that,
Ms. Dinoff, motion to
Senate.
approve? Okay,
Right.
thank
Yeah.
you.
I think we both did, but that's okay.
okay, any more board comments? I see you packing up. Okay, staff? You
I
have any
just wanted to
comments?
make a real quick comment
Yeah.
that we had provided all of our materials to the state so that we can continue to be a certified local government at the end
Okay.
of December. So that process is in motion.
That's good. When are we gonna start with the, new surveys and stuff?
So we are starting, that is not going to start until next fiscal year.
Okay, okay, that's a good way off. Just one after I get worried. Okay? Board, okay, then, not hearing anything else, I'm calling this one adjourned at 7:21.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
It was.
It was good. Oh, let me sign this.